Hey tubers, this is Jordan on our pagan opinions. I am Wicked Jen's new substitute for Saturdays, and today's topic, or this week's topic, is the legalization of marijuana and the pros and cons of it. Alright, so this is kind of out of my range of expertise, but because I don't really do that much very often. Anyways, might as well give my opinion on it. Okay, so legalization of marijuana. Okay. What do I think about it? Well, there's quite a few pros and there's quite a few cons for both of them. It just depends on the person and depends on how people are using it. Alright, so the pros of it is the medicinal part of it. Okay, first of all, it's not medicine, it's just a painkiller. Alright? The pros of it being legalized or whatever is people who suffer from things like osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, cancer patients, things along those lines, when they're at the point where no painkiller works anymore, then why not get stoned? Why not? There would be no problem whatsoever, I don't think, if it was to be legalized for medicinal reasons. Alright, but the pros of it also could be considered possible. To me, there aren't a whole lot of pros because I know the chemical constituencies of weed and I know what it does to you and stuff. But the pros of it, if we're talking in a pagan perspective, it is known as, in shamanism and a lot of other forms of magic and practices, of being a vision quest kind of drug or herb. Alright, so it's quite often would be used for can be used for vision quests. It's really good to focus yourself onto specific constituencies and specific points when you're doing divination, things like that. Though that's the pro. Another pro about it, if you're talking paganly kind of way. Another pro of it would be it would help anorexics or people with anorexia nervosa feel hungry and actually feel okay about themselves. And it's also great for the fact that for people who suffer from depression, depending on the scenario and how tough it is and how bad it is, it can definitely be used to help them out and help them be a little bit more happy about their life, help them kind of look on the bright things side of things. But then again, that could be a con at the same time, because when you're talking about depression and things along those lines and sadness and specific emotions, marijuana will actually amplify those feelings if you're not in the right state of mind. Excuse me. Yeah, some cons about it, well, there's a lot. But, wait, I'll just keep on going with the pros first. Okay, so the pros of it is people who do it recreationally wouldn't have to worry about being arrested, wouldn't have to worry about being shunned or treated differently because they enjoy whatever it is they like to enjoy about it. Along with some more pros of it is it's great in brownies. Basically, some more pros about it is, like, I don't even know where to go with this because I've never really thought of it that much because I don't usually do it very often. If I do, it's usually once in a blue moon. And so I'm probably not the best person to get an idea from about it, but the cons about it is, first of all, if you think physiologically, it's a depressant, and it will slow down your metabolism, it slows down your brain function, and it slows down your reaction speeds, and along those lines. If it's legal, as if it was legal for cigarettes, for example, that would be really, really bad, because people would be able to smoke smoke a joint in their car, and blah, blah, blah. And just use your brain, okay? It's common sense. If it's slowing down your reaction speed, if you're driving, for example, what do you think's gonna happen? Oh, there's red light. Oh, it's pretty. Crash, bang, boom, you're dead. Basically, plain and simple. Another con about it is, like, the fact of the matter is that it screws up your brain activity really badly. You get something what's called permafry, which is basically you're always in a state of chemical imbalance in your brain. So your emotions will be uncontrolled, the way you feel, the way you think, the way you act will be completely accelerated. And if you're one of those people who has low self-esteem and stuff, if you are allowed to do this stuff, it's bad for you. Because like if you have low self-esteem, for example, what's it going to do? It's going to amplify those feelings so that when you're walking with your friends or whatever, smoking your joint, because it's all legal and stuff, as soon as your friend even changes their octave of talking to you, maybe they're joking around or whatever, you're going to go off the handle and think they hate you or some crazy thing like that. So that's a con about it. Another con about it is that they're pretty much the one thing that really bothers me is the whole permafry thing. Because once you start doing that, your brain activity slows down and stops where it is. So if you start, for example, when you're 14 or 18 or anything like that, you stay in that same mindset. Because what it does is it slows down your brain activity and your mature aspects of growing up and stuff like that, and being able to think analytically and think more along the lines of a mature individual. But then again, this is totally my opinion, because what are we on? Our pagan opinions. Yeah. So, yeah. Some other cons about it is people would be out of a job. Because if you're instead of going on your coffee break and having a cigarette and you're having a joint, that's going to slow down your entire work process. You're going to slack off, you're not going to want to do your things, you might get paranoid. There's a lot of mixed emotions about that. When you're thinking on the effect of, say, on a personal level, what do you get when you smoke up? You get the munchies. And it's not munchies for healthy shit, it's munchies for chips and junk and shit like that. So weight gain is a big issue. And what comes with weight gain is a buttload of things. Diabetes, hypertension, a bunch of different kinds of joint dysfunctions, osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoporosis, joint dysfunction, with decreased pain, with having so much weight on your body, it can also be bad for your back. It can cause you to have chronic pain, and it can cause a lot of shit like that. So that's a definitely big con. When I'm thinking in a massage therapy aspect, yeah, it's not a good idea to be gaining weight too much, or if you do, trying to do something to get rid of the weight. Okay? Not to mention, if you're eating junk all the time, that's going to cause things like high cholesterol, heart attack, stroke, and a shitload of other things. So, that's a little bit more cons, I guess. Some pros, I guess. Well, for me, an example, I would be really, really happy. If it didn't cause you the whole permafry thing, it would be totally fine. I wouldn't care. Alright, whatever, you want to trip, big deal, no big deal, whatever. But when it's causing actual brain dysfunctions and brain malfunctions in your head, that to me is a big issue. Because the one thing that controls your entire body is your brain. It's the motherboard, it's like the thing that runs the vehicle. Pretty much, the ignition or whatever. It's the one that tells you whether or not something's broken or if something's or healing and stuff like that. Another thing, another con about it is that when you think physiologically, if it's a painkiller or whatever, and it's making every feeling feel good about it or whatever, then when you're trying to heal and you're trying, like, say you break your leg, for example, and you just, like, smoke it up, whatever, it can cause a lot of problems healing, because it'll slow down the metabolism. It stops the brain function of saying that hurts, that needs to be fixed. It starts to cause a lot of issues along those lines. Not to mention, some other cons about it are a lot of health conditions, really, is what it comes down to. Like, and workplace, like, every aspect of your life will be messed up because of it. So, in retrospect, I don't feel like it should be I feel it should be legal in a medicinal aspect or as a recreational thing, being allowed, like, to have it every once in a while, not to have it whenever you want, kind of thing. Alright, because just like any other drug in the book, it has pros and cons to it anyways. So health conditions are a really big thing that make it a negative aspect, and yeah. So those are my pros and cons. No, I don't think it should be legal. Or, well, actually, I believe it should be legal for certain people, is basically what it comes down to. I don't believe I believe if it was to be legal, there should be an age restriction on it, and it should be controlled. Just like alcohol and cigarettes and stuff, those things are fairly controlled. And having a specific price for them, and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed this video on Our Pagan Opinions. This is Ziggy J2 or Jordan. And yeah, if you want to take a look at my personal channel, I haven't been on there in a while, but I've been doing a lot of videos and stuff. So anyways, Ziggy J2 out, and I will talk to you later, and blessed be.